Hi, it's Sky, spelled with an E now. I decided to change it. Um, and today is April 27th, 2023. I am 11 weeks on HRT, that's almost 3 months, and my IKEA shark arrived in the mail last week, so I'm officially trans now. And just throw that back on the bed. Okay, so it's been a while since I recorded anything, and well, quite a bit seems to have been happening since then. Well, uh, I mean, there's still the changes that I mentioned before. That I'm currently wearing my shapewear at the moment uh, because I don't feel good not wearing it just yet. And I was too lazy to close the curtains and change clothes. But yeah, that stuff's still growing. And well, a few weeks back, I was taking a break at work and just reading, and happened to glance at my arm and noticed my skin's looking different. Uh, that's starting to get a little smoother now and softer. I'm also noticing, well, been uh, been shaving my body hair, of course, but I do that once a week because it takes a long time, but it starts growing back before then. Uh, but the hair seems to be getting a little finer. There appears to be about as much of it. Actually, is that true? Okay. Arm hair might be less. In some places, it might be less. But for the most part, there seems to be about as much of it as before, but it's thinner. Um, which means that I might actually at some point be able to get away with not shaving my arm hair anymore. I'd cut some time out. Um, I've been still going with the laser uh, uh, on my facial hair. Slow going, but we'll see. Started doing that on my chest hair because I like low necklines, but it's also really frustrating when there's chest hair sticking out. And and yeah, another one. So a while back, I did record an update on a day when I was not feeling well. Um, wasn't real sure what that was at the time. It kind of felt like a stomach issue, but didn't, it was different from stomach pains that I've had in the past. It was more localized in one spot, and it was kind of coming and going throughout the day. Didn't really affect my appetite. Now, I knew that estrogen can come with period cramps. Obviously, not going to get the messy part, don't have the anatomy for that. But period cramps can actually happen in the absence of a uterus. Which, okay, to be clear, I think it's a safe assumption that I don't have a uterus, but I haven't had my internal reproductive anatomy looked at beyond just. I have had a vasectomy, so, um, but um, but yeah. At the time, I was really hoping it wasn't period cramps because I did not want that kind of pain every month. But yeah, I just got over 3 days of cramps again, and no, I don't think that's one. But just got over 3 days of that again. Wasn't as bad this time. Also, uh, having experienced it and knowing um, what it is, that was one piece of it that I was really actually kind of hoping that I might get to avoid. But my opinion on it has shifted a little bit. I uh, as long as it's not any worse than it was this last time, um, I can live with that for a few days every month. Um, but I was also telling some of the women I know about that, and just kind of comparing notes with them to see, is this what it is? Sounds an awful lot like what they get. Um, or have gotten, not all of them do anymore. um, but there's this feeling of camaraderie with them while we were talking about it, and um, uh, that was another form of affirmation that I wasn't expecting, and it felt like just um, yet another welcome to womanhood moment. Felt good. Uh, I mean, of course, stomach pain wasn't that great, but yeah. So that happened, and um, and I've definitely been noticing shifts in moods, and I am finding it easier to process emotions, um, which has always been, I think, harder than I would have admitted to myself most of my life. Um, and um, and I'm also feeling some emotions more intensely. Uh, Although the spirolactone, the testosterone blocker, does seem to have also diminished aggression quite a bit, which I've been liking that. That's not something I've ever really been fully comfortable with, and overall, yeah, on an emotional level, it's feeling like a way better fit for me. And yeah, um, I also have other things coming up in the future. I need to quit procrastinating sometime and do this. I got tax refunds recently, and I'm planning on doing a legal name change. That is something that I need to just go ahead and do. Uh, in the state I live in, that can be done online. Um, uh, and I can do a legal gender change as well, which um, which would be good. Uh, Although that's going to come with an awful lot of work changing my name in other areas like electric bill, internet, uh, bank, driver's license, all sorts of stuff. But my mom has offered to help with that when when the time comes, which is good. Um, um, so she, having been married, then divorced, then remarried, has been through that whole process 3 times, and uh, so um, yeah, it's funny that the that that process is not, it's so complicated with all of the different places you need to go and get your name changed after it's done legally. Um, we expect women to just do that um, when they get married, and in fact, we quite often don't even really think about it that much. And yeah, so but yeah, yeah. So uh, that'll be one more way in which I can work towards leaving my old self in the past. That will be great. Um, and I do have another gripe that I also recently went shoe shopping with some of my tax refund. Um, Shoe shopping for a trans woman is difficult. Uh, I wear a size 11 and a half to 12. I managed to find some size 11 that I can wear. The biggest ones in the store. um, but yes, that's, and it's also not just trans women who need that. Some cis women are just tall, and um, uh, but but I was able to find some that I like, and they're not feeling quite as snug as when I bought them either. So it's hard to measure beyond that, especially considering I didn't really do much in the way of measuring at the time. Um, but I think my feet might be starting to shrink some too, which would be great because that means hopefully my shoulders will also start shrinking soon if they haven't. It's a slow process. It's hard to see uh, how it's uh, how it's going uh, from day to day, but yes, that is another thing that happens. Connective tissue. I mean, at my age, bone structure probably won't change a whole lot. Um, really hope something happens with the hips, though. But bone structure probably won't change a whole lot, but connective tissue uh, in feet and shoulders, possibly hands, I think, can atrophy some, and that will cause proportions to change. So, yes, looking forward to that. Um, and yes, so that's happening, and I'll be back later to hopefully talk about more of what's going on. All right, until next time. Hopefully, I can remember next week.